Hey there everyone. Wow, this took a lot longer to produce than I would have liked. I had talked about doing an Osaka video a couple of months ago when we revisited Kabukicho and Kamurocho, and part of that was stuff getting in the way, part of that was also trying to get all the footage together. You know how things like that go, but here we are, ready to explore through Dotonbori, which is represented by Sotenbori in the Yakuza game series in several games such as Kiwami 2, Yakuza 5, Yakuza 0. Aside from Kamurocho, it's the second most used location that off the top of my head I can think of, because most places we don't really revisit. So a few things I wanted to point out before we get started. The maps between real life and in-game are actually flipped. What would technically be north, if you take a look at something like Sotenbori Street, which is the northern boundary of Sotenbori, it's actually the southern boundary of the same equivalent area within Dotonbori if you take a look at it on Google Maps. So I'm going to try to point that out as best as I can. It's going to end up changing directions here and there. One thing that was in Yakuza 2 but wasn't in the remake Yakuza Kiwami 2 that I didn't really get to check out a whole lot, and I'm not really going to cover here, is the Shinseicho area, which is represented in real life by Sutenkaku Hondori. I did get to visit that area a little bit and take a look at it, but I had actually forgotten completely that it was an area within the original version of 2. So unfortunately, there's nothing really to show there, but it's something I just wanted to point out before we got started. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. All right, starting out here at the west end. Right around here is where Akiyama was going to open up Sky Finance in Yakuza 5, poor guy. In-game, you can see the Kukuru. I always have trouble saying that, but that's the takoyaki stand that's been there. I thought it was missing at first when I was going over this footage. I think it's just in a slightly different spot. There's an eclair place, or I think it was something. It was a sweet shop, but there's Kukuru as we're walking past it. I didn't really take a look at it since there's a few things I really wasn't looking for or thinking about, because I just, plumb forgot them as I was walking through Dotonbori shopping street here and just trying to get through the entire human mass that was there, because it was so busy, even on a hot day. The game footage is going to cut out here and there since I can tend to fall behind, and as I was using items to not attract the attention of enemies, it just got in the recording, so I just cut some of that stuff out. But trying to line all this footage up, harder than it looks. But anybody that does editing, I think, would know that. So as we start off here, to the left is going to be Ebisu Bridge. We'll be coming back to that. That's Iwao Bridge in game. You have Kanidoraku here, and this is the first of many food shops that are here on Dotonbori Shopping Street that are recreated on Sotenbori Street in-game. No Club Sega, that's a Forever 21 in real life. But yeah, Kanidoraku is there, and we'll be running into Ganko Sushi, Osaka King. We'll be running into Zuburaya with the puffer fish outside, and Gyukaku. I'll point out a few more as we get to those. But yeah, Ganko Sushi is over there on the right-hand side, and the locations are pretty much the same. They, other than scale, and obviously scale is not going to be accurate between real life and in-game, they're pretty dead on, and in comparison to Kabukicho and Kamurocho, where it looks similar but there's no real similarities in terms of businesses. Yeah, there's Osaka King there, Ganko. They don't have it in real life anymore. The Kuidaore Taro statue, the clown statue that's playing the drums, it should be over here on the right, but it's not there anymore. There's Osaka Old Show, or Osaka King. We already went past Ganko. You can see the Zuburaya sign ahead, and the Gyukaku's past that. But yeah, like I was saying, Kabukicho and Kamurocho, they're very similar in terms of feel and appearance, but businesses tend to be one-offs. They're not the same in between each place. But when you look here, it's the same way. There's Tori Kizoku is not going to be in there. Family Mart's not in game either. But it's amazing how much they managed to get into the in-game world. It's crazy, honestly. Maybe crazy is not the best way to describe it, but it is really, really cool. And it lends a lot of authenticity to the in-game world and makes it feel like the real place. The octopus over here, though, I don't remember if the big sushi is in there, but the octopus is a sign. That's a place that's not shared between real life and in-game. But as we head a little bit further up, we're basically making our way over to Tazayamon Bridge in real life, or Bishamon Bridge in-game. Yeah, we're already a little bit ahead. That's how fast I was walking, because you don't have to fight with people in-game. You can get places pretty fast, you know, unless you run into bad guys. You know, I had to cut out a few encounters there that I just couldn't get past. But, yeah, in-game we're already looking at Kinyu Ramen, and that's the same place right here on the right-hand side. And we're going to look over a little bit. You can see the big, giant, stern face of Kushikatsu Daruma. I didn't get to eat at this one, but I did eat at one over by Sutenkaku that was really nice. Very friendly staff. Good food. Yeah, there isn't a second Kanidoraku here in game, but yeah, no Cabaret Club Grand as well. And as I mentioned during the opening, this is a similar case with Kamurocho and Kabukicho, where real life is much more grid-based. You know, you have these little turns here and there, and you know, odd places that it just kind of stops, you know, in-game, and it kind of makes sense from a perspective of you need to create boundaries for an in-game map that real life doesn't have to adhere to, and thankfully doesn't, because random dead ends kind of suck. But yeah, you're going to see stuff go on forever, but sadly no Cabaret Grand, no analog to that. Or if there was, it's probably been gone since the Showa era ended, and now of course we're in Reiwa. We're going to walk on the bridge here, at least along the walkways here on Tazayamon Bridge. There's the Dotonbori River Walk. We'll be taking a look at that a little bit later. A giant Don Quixote. Some of the businesses are really not shared here, though. Other than the Don Quixote, that's about it. It looks similar, and when we walk along it later on, you'll notice that. We're looking east here, but west in game. Again, you know, the maps are flipped between the two of them. But as we continue to head north here in the real life footage, you're going to start to see that the similarities that the main streets back there ended up having are going to go away. The layout's going to be a little bit different, and you know, they're going to kind of nail the vibe. It's going to be the similar case as you go further into Kabukicho and you try to compare it in game, where it's like there's no real comparison. You know, they managed to kind of nail the look, but it starts to diverge pretty drastically. Yeah, that Lawson, I think, has only been there a couple of years when you look at Google Maps, but at the very least, that's kind of what, you know, that's where the Papo would be. No Wild Jackson, unfortunately. But as we start heading down Soimoncho in real life, that's Shofukucho. Flip my notes here if you hear that. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is where it starts to really diverge, because, you know, there's a little turn dead ahead. You know, you kind of hit a building and you have to jut left real quick in game. The Don Quixote is really the only thing that's shared between the two of them. I don't believe I went inside there. I was doing this on my own, and for the most part I was trying to film, and because it was so hot and it was so just crowded, and some of the stuff I wanted to do I couldn't pull off because, you know, businesses were closed, it was just too busy. I kind of made my way through. Ooh, bad camera shake. Kind of made my way through about as quickly as possible. We're going to fade out here in just a minute, because we're going to take a right. If you see the first building with the one with the pink sign there, we're going to take a right and head down that way and start showing you some of the stuff there, and also some of the differences in layout. All right, now that we've turned right, we're heading south on Shofukucho. There is no street name for this in real life. It's Shofukucho in-game, so I got nothing to work with in real life. Once we're off Soimoncho and looking at Google Maps again, there's no street names. This is about where Snack Aoi was on the right-hand side. Some of the businesses over here look kind of similar in-game between that and real life, but not a whole lot. Some of the signage kind of has a similar feel. They were clearly using inspiration. Over here on the right is actually where Club Forshine would be. It's a hotel. Yeah, Molina Hotel Premier. Similar looking building, but I mean, there's an advertisement for a host club, but that's about it. Nothing, nothing really similar. Yeah, the Miyabi sign that was saying with the design being pretty close. The Miyabi sign and the Zero sign, or Zero. Yeah, Queen's Court and Celebrity Town, those are the two things that are pretty similar around here. But as you can see, the street goes a little bit further south compared to real life. I actually have to cut out here in the footage and pick back up because it immediately just goes right. And unlike the street in game, this one goes east and west and doesn't stop. There's no dead end behind us, and there's no dead end at the car park. Love that the car is kind of the stand-in for the mob there. There's no car park at the very end, so if you look straight ahead, that street just keeps going, as opposed to in-game where it stops and you hit the parking lot. Parking lot, car park, will go with both. Another thing, too, that I did not see is any kind of park. I think there's one maybe northwest of this area, but there's no Ashibata Park stand-in or any kind of analog to that here in the real-life footage. Or, you know, I couldn't find one, so I couldn't give you footage for that. We'll reiterate that there, but yeah, there's nothing in real life. If there was, maybe it was around during the Showa era, just, you know, the same time frame as Yakuza 0, but anymore it's not. So we're going to cut out here. I should have taken a right-hand turn. I didn't. I kind of messed up, and I kept going, so I actually went a block further than I should have. But the street we've been on right now, and picking back up here when we finally take the right-hand turn, really going through street maps on the one we missed and looking at the footage here, there's really nothing to say. It's another case of, hey, this looks similar, but there's really not anything between the two of them that is the same. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to mention here, unfortunately, other than we can just take a look around, and some of the signage is really cool. Yeah, I didn't find anything that looked like the apartment building that Haruka was in 5. That's another thing I'm actually going to do. I'm probably not going to do any voiceover for it, but I'd like to take the real life footage and put that in the corner. Once I start playing Yakuza 5, I can record a walkthrough of the same area and put that up as a comparison, because I'm really curious. It's been a while since I've played Yakuza 0, so I don't quite know the layout there very well, and it's not going to match real life anymore anyways. It's been so long. And even between the map here in Kiwami 2 and in real life, there's enough differences. There's a lot of differences between the two maps. If you put Kiwami 2 next to 5, you know, things are missing and things have changed. Some things have been modernized. You know, that's just how it goes. All right. Waiting for cars. Streets are so small. I think I've mentioned that in past videos, but that's the nature of the beast. I'm surprised anybody can drive down these. So we're taking a right-hand turn here, and we're actually back on Soimoncho, and we're going to cut out here in a minute and pretty much pick back up to where we made the right-hand turn originally. We're just going to, you know, fly back up. Magic style, you know? The magic of editing. Anytime now. Yeah. I don't know why I kept the rest of this. You know what? Let's just... Well, you can see the Don Quixote there and some of the other businesses. There's a Holiday Inn. Clearly, I wanted to look at that. Oh, there's a 7-Eleven. That's at least useful. Okay. So, yeah, we're pretty much back where the Lawson was at. There we go. And we pick back up behind these two guys, you know, because they've been waiting for us. So you can see the Ryuga Gotoku online advertisement up here on the canopy. This Infomen sign's actually had a bunch of advertisements before for like 6 and 0, Kiwami and Kiwami 2. It's not Infomen in game right now, but I believe in Yakuza 5 it is an Infomen stand for information about Sotenbori. So heading back up, we are going west on Soimoncho and east on Shofukucho. The two signs. I mean, there's a sign for Shofukucho when you go back behind us and the street starts, but as far as I know, there's only just the one sign here. Another spot where, you know, once again, and yeah, no Smile Burger. A lot of construction on this street too. There's been a lot of construction, just I think in Japan in general, even with everything that's been going on. in the world right now, you know, it's probably not going to stop a lot of the construction that was happening with the Olympics going on there. Osaka's not having anything like that, but, you know, you got to modernize. Yeah, yet another street where it goes straight through as opposed to the weird kind of, you know, quick left turn you would have had back there once you got to the Infomen corner. And we're going to fade out here again. We're going to look down the shopping plaza, and we will then end up turning around and looking at the bridge back there. There's a slightly better view of Shinsaibashi Suji, or the Bunzaemon Outdoor Mall in-game. Didn't get to explore that, didn't have enough time, and, you know, obviously, look at the damn bridge. Even the shopping street back there was going to be way too busy. There's a lot of signage difference on this bridge. This is Ebisu Bridge in real life. It's Iwao Bridge in-game. No Glico Running Man in-game. It's Muscle Beer. It's still a really good sign. No Asahi Super Dry. Looks like it's a sake advertisement in-game. The Chintai sign over there. There's a couple of small ones that are similar between the two. You know, the Promise sign's a lot bigger in real life, but that's been an advertiser in-game for, I think, for a long time. Yeah, lots of people getting photographs with the Glico Running Man. They don't light that up until I think around 8 or 9 o'clock. So I had to wait around. We were there for a little while before we finally took off. Yeah, you got the boats. The boats run a lot more often in real life. Unless it's just running more often, you know, on this day or just during summer in general. But you see them every once in a while. They'll pass by in-game. But yeah, not a lot of businesses being shared between this, but really they nailed how the area feels and how the bridge looks. There's really not a whole lot of difference. This is a very famous bridge, Ebisu Bridge. There's a stage for Mizoguchi in Fighter's History Dynamite. I think it's seen in stuff like Burning Fight, which I think that takes place mostly in Osaka, since SNK has been based out of Osaka for years. Yeah, there's some more. Still no construction down there. No boats. Not enough boats. Not enough people. Taking a look around here, in a few moments we're going to actually fade out and then fade back in, and we'll be heading down the river walk towards the Don Quixote. There we go. There's more boats. Yeah, not the same there, but it's pretty similar. Pretty similar. But the one big thing, the layout's fairly similar between the river walk in real life and the Sotenbori footpath. Obviously, it's much different than what it used to be in Yakuza 0, where it was, you know, completely dirt and grass and everything. It wasn't set up like this. And this actually changed. If you notice that the footage changed a little bit, I went to my phone on this one. I don't know why I wasn't recording with the GoPro at that point. I was doing pretty much everything else with a GoPro, an older one. And filming blind, by the way, that was not a lot of fun. Hey, there's a boat in-game. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, those were cool. There was actually dancing and stuff going on in one of the boats that passed by after it got dark, since it's a summer festival season around this time. I would say that should be why it's very busy, and it's probably part of the reason, since there's a lot of domestic tourism around that time. People have time off, but I kept really mostly running into foreign tourists. I think it's a extra entrance for the Gyukaku that's actually over on the main shopping street. Very, very busy. Yeah, one thing I didn't notice, and we're going to get a closer look at it as we finish things up here. We're getting pretty close to the end of the footage that I have. I never noticed, either in-game or boats. You can see some of the stuff there. But I never noticed that it's a Ferris wheel. I knew the big giant sign, but yeah, I saw that and I went, wait, is that a Ferris wheel? And then once I actually got back and started recording footage in-game, sure enough, it's a Ferris wheel. I believe it moves in-game, just very slowly. But yeah, there you go. Ridiculous. Imagine running that, working for Don Quixote and running that. But yeah, as we pan up here, that's pretty much everything I have to offer you guys on this. And with that, that's everything I got for you guys. That's everything I recorded last year while I was in Japan. I didn't get to visit any other areas that would have been in-game. You know, I haven't been anywhere near Fukuoka. I haven't been to Hokkaido. These are all places I would like to hit up in the future. Obviously, right now, with the way things are going in the world currently, it's going to be a little hard getting back to Japan, but hopefully everything kind of calms down and I'm able to revisit there sometime in 2021 or somewhere after that. Everything's kind of ran really long. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here pretty quickly by saying thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching the other comparisons that I've put out in the past. I really appreciate the support and the likes and the great comments on there. It's been a lot of fun being able to put these together for folks to watch and hopefully share and enjoy. And yeah, that's the biggest reason why I really want to go back and visit other locations. I'd love to go back and visit Yokohama again. Now with Yakuza 7 being out, that's another new area I can explore in the future. So once again, thank you. Thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the like button. If you haven't seen the other videos that I've put up, there's going to be buttons on screen for you to check out there. And a special shout out to David C. over on Patreon for supporting me. I really appreciate it. His name's up on screen. If you want to support me over there, please do. But feel no obligation to do that. I just once again want to say thanks, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a good one.